Hi, welcome to new video. So in this video or in this series we'll be learning testing in Laravel. So I'm also kind of new to this testing thing, so we'll go together and learn testing. So yeah, we don't need to install anything. PHP unit comes by default. So here is existing project. So in new project, this will be also same. You'll get this test folder. I haven't added anything. So if you go inside test folder, you'll get these files. Like in unit testing, you'll get this. So feature. So let me tell you what these unit and feature testing is. So unit testing is like a testing a small bit of your code, like a small feature, or testing a particular method inside some class. So for example, if we go to post controller, so suppose we want to test this store or edit method or any method if that is working, so that will go inside test and unit. So it is just a way to organize your test. This is not required. And feature test is like kind of whole thing. So you are completely testing feature that will consist of multiple methods. So suppose you are testing a complete feature like adding something something to user profile, or visiting some page and submitting form and getting some response. So if you are testing whole thing, that is feature test, and if you are testing a small bit of your project, that is unit testing. So you'll get also a small explanation in documentation. Okay, talking about why we need testing is it will provide us confidence while writing code or while refactoring. It also saves us time. So in long term, so instead of going to browser and testing each feature, we can just run unit testing command and it will tell us where the error is. So basically what testing allows us to deliver our end product with full confidence that it is working. So our test is backing that up. So PHP unit is already inside your Laravel project, inside vendor bin. If you go to vendor bin, yeah, inside vendor bin, and here you got PHP unit. So let's open up terminal and let's open that in commander. Okay, so we run PHP unit and it gave us one failure. Expected code 200 but received 301. Okay, so let's go to tests, and so it will tell us which test is failing, like example test, feature example test. So if we visit home page, we should get 200, but it is giving us 301. So currently what I'm doing is, if we go to home page, it is redirecting us back to blog. So that's why it is giving us error. So if we go to blog, it should give us 200. So now let's rerun this test. Let's clear thing up. Yeah, so this time it is passing. Later in this video we'll work with real life example, then it will be easier for you to understand. So currently let's just see what it is. So while running PHP unit, we need to type this command every time. So you can put the alias. So if you are using commander, what you can do is alias command, then just alias this to PHP unit. So every time we type PHP unit, it should execute this command, vendor bin. There we go. So now if we type PHP unit, yeah, it should do that test. So all the settings related to PHP unit test is inside phpunit.xml. So here you can get these environment variable set to testing, cast driver array. So you can put any of your settings here, test related setting here. Okay, in order to test this testing, we'll generate a simple CRUD example and we'll test that with our unit test PSP unit. So I have this CRUD generator package installed, so I'll use that to quickly generate CRUD. So PSP artisan CRUD generate, and the name of CRUD will be to do, and fields. So we got controller, model migration, view also created, CRUD resource route added to your web.php. So let's go to VS Code and go to web.php. Okay, so we got this new route. Okay, let's try to visit to do. Okay, table not found. We need to migrate to create table. PHP artisan migrated. Let's refresh. There we go. So we got simple CRUD. So for now you can ignore all other. So by the way, this is the webcast like subscription website in Laravel series. So you don't need to follow that series to follow this video. So we can create simple CRUD like today's task. Yeah, we can create, we can view, we can edit. Yeah, we can do complete CRUD. So now our CRUD in place, we need to test it with PSP unit. Okay, so let's start by setting up the database for testing only. So for example, you have one database for your local development and you want to make another database for testing. So if you don't want to mix those two databases, you can create separate for testing. So let's create a new connection for testing. So if you go to config and database, so here you'll find different connections. The default is MySQL. So inside you have SQLite, MySQL, and all other connections. So let's create a new connection. So I'll duplicate this MySQL, and here I will name is testing connection, or yeah, testing TV. Yeah, let's give it testing, and everything else will be same. Yeah, you can hard code these thing here. So database name will be for test, for unit test. We'll create this database, and for my connection root is the username and password is empty. So everything else leave as it is. So we'll create this database. For unit test. Okay, so we got database in place. So now we need to tell PSP unit to use this connection while you are testing, or while you are migrating for testing or other stuff. So remember, we need to go to php unit.xml file to define that. So I will create another one and name it. So you can name it like this, so dv connection and then name of connection. So name is dv connection and value will be testing. That's what we created here. So now while testing it will use this connection. Okay, so that's cool. So if you go to database for unit test, you won't see anything here. So we need to migrate all these to this database. So if you see php migrate health, I think there is option for database. So database connection to use. So let's do php artisan migrate and database equals to testing. Okay, it gave us small notice, but it still migrated all those tables. So the problem is, I think, yeah, so it didn't throw error, but it automatically assumed this is root. So typo there, sorry about that. So now we have all the table that is in our local DB in our test DB. So every time you want to migrate, you need to specify this option, testing option, for unit testing your database. Okay, so now let's go to our test, and so we'll be testing, we don't need this feature. So inside unit, so here is already example test. So I'll create new one, save it as to do test. Okay, so I want to create a new method which fetches. So we need to proceed with method name with test, otherwise it won't work. So test if it fetches most priority task. So we have to do in our file, in our application, so we want to test if the function fetches the most priority task. So let's go to to-dos, create to-do table. So I think we just created title and description. We can put here integer field with name priority. So we can set default 0 priority, and let's refresh our database. php artisan migrate, refresh. So it will roll back, and okay, it gave us this base table already exists. So we got new command in Laravel 5.5, so which is migrate fresh, which will just delete everything and recreate it, which is exactly what we want. So now we have that to-dos with priority. Yeah, perfect. So let's go back to VS Code. Okay, so if you find this is not readable, you can follow another convention. So test if it. Yeah, so main requirement is you need to start the method name with test. Another option is you can do here annotation like add test. That is also fine. Yeah. Okay, so the way we test is first we'll provide assumption. So assumption is like we'll first create some record in database, like you can say assumption or create playground or whatever. So basically that is just creating some records in database so that we can determine we can test if that is priority task or not. And then we'll call actual method to test. So we'll call the method which we are testing, and then we will test using assertion. So then in last step we test the record returned by this method in this step. So first let's create some records in our database. So you can create records by doing to do, then create, and then looping through each and creating some records. So that is not ideal. What you can do is use model factories. Okay, so we'll use model factory to create some data in our database. So the way we do is first we need to create a factory. So we need I think we have already user factory. So inside app database factories you have user factory. So what we do is when we call factory user, like let me show you. So let's put up PHP artisan tinker. So if we call factory app user, and then I'll call create, it will create this data, random data in our database. So if we check our database, it should create that. Yeah, so there we go, it created. So we can create as many records as we want. So for example, if I say create 5 records, it will create 5 records. So that's what we want in while testing. We can create as many records as we want. Okay, so let's create a similar factory for user, to do. So we have artisan command to create factory as well, so we'll use that to create factory. So PHP artisan make factory, and name will be to do factory, and we can supply the model name as to do. So it got created. Let's go to code and to do factory. There we go. Okay, we'll copy. We don't need to copy, we can. So we have 3 fields like name. So name will be, so faker is library which help us to generate the random fake data. So description, so we have created factory. So we have this priority field which we are not populating from here because yeah, we are setting that to 0 by default, or you can set it here as well, but yeah, you can set priority here. Okay, doesn't matter. So let's go to our test to do test, and we'll first create some record. So we'll create some random records using factory. So factory to do class. So to do class will create 3 random data. and we'll create so we'll create one data with priority highest, and we'll create another data with priority random like 3. So this is the highest priority. Okay, so this is important task, this is random, and these are some other data. So we just created our data in database, and now we'll call actual method and to do, you can call prioritize. Okay, so we'll to do prioritize and get. So this query scope will just prioritize the tasks according to priority, and we'll test this assert equals, so this assert equals, we'll check. So we'll test if this important task id and the task the first task from this task are equal. So important task, so id of this task is equal to tasks, so we'll get first task and then we'll call id. Okay, so we have written the test which fetches the most priority tasks. So we just randomly created some data and we call this method. So we haven't created this method, this query scope yet, so we are just writing test, and then we'll write the necessary methods to just pass this test. So this is the test driven development approach, where you write your test first and then you write the necessary methods to just pass this test to implement this feature. So the workflow is, you want to add the feature or you want to add a method to fetch the most priority task or just prioritize the task in your application. So first step is you just write this test, you created some data, you call the method which you want, and you check if this is true or if this is returning the expected result. So expected result in this case is important task which is of priority 1 should be on top if we fetch this. So hope this is making sense. So first we'll run this test and see if this is working. Okay, so let's run PHP unit. So it should definitely fail, and it is telling us that bad method exception. So call to undefined method prioritize. So this method does not exist. So let's create that method. So let's go to do and create a query scope. So this should be static function prioritize query return query order by. So we created a priority scope and we'll order them by descending. So actually we said the 1 will be highest priority. Actually we have to make the 5, so highest number means more priority. So we'll order that by in descending order, and yeah, that's it. And we'll make this 5, so highest priority, and low priority is 0, and then yeah, we'll proceed like that. Okay, so this is important task. We defined this, and yeah, everything looks fine. So now let's run our test. Yeah, so it is passing, it is defined, and let's order them by ascending. So for example, our logic is wrong and what type of error we'll get. Let's see. Clear this out, run PHP unit. Yeah, so the error is changed and we got this time, so failed asserting that 1 matches expected 20. So let's go to our test TV for unit test. In to dos you'll see, so 20 is highest priority task and it is asserting 1. So let's rerun again. Yeah, expected is changing, so this time 20. So what the problem is, it is just creating more and more record like this. So after some tests your database will fill up with large amount of data. So the solution for that is I think Laravel offers some trait for doing that. So resetting database after each test. So we got this refresh database, so we need to use that. So it will just refresh the database after each test. So use refresh database. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. We used this in to do model. We have to use in our test. Just remove it from here. So let's see how much data we got. So we got 40 rows. So let's empty this table for. Okay, so we got no record. Let's try running our test. Okay, our test ran. Okay, it got no data in our table, so let's run again. So when we run this record, we got this x1 and expected 5. So again we ran, we got same result. So it is not creating any record, but it is creating once, but after creating it is just dropping all those data that it created, so which is perfect. So always remember to use this refresh database trait in your test while you are testing any model, eloquent model. Okay, there we go. So now it is throwing us error like it is not matching, it is not fetching the latest or most priority record. So we need to correct this. So the way we make correction is go to do, and here it is in ascending order, we have to make it in descending. Let's try this time. Okay, in this time it turns green. So we are fetching the right, so this method is working as expected. So this is the basic workflow for unit testing. So hope you learned something from this video. So stay tuned for other videos related to tests, and make sure to give any feedback on comment if you want to see more videos in this series or not. So see you in the next video. Bye.